All right, welcome to this explainer where we're unlocking what might literally be the absolute holy grail of fitness nutrition. I mean, picture this, a daily diet that gives you a solid 2,000 calories, packs in over 150 grams of protein to fuel those muscles, and yeah, actively helps you lose fat. Now, what if I told you that you could pull off this whole shebang for like $5 a day? I know. With grocery prices right now, that sounds completely impossible. But today, we're going to break down the exact math, the precise grocery list, and the dead simple recipes to make the world's cheapest fat loss meal plan a total reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our literal menu for today's explainer. We're going to start with the $5 daily plan, then we'll move right through a budget breakfast, some meal prep burritos, a dinner that's literally mom approved, a late night dessert, and wrap it all up with some real world results. Moving on to Section 1, the $5 daily plan. So before we even step foot in the kitchen, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, rising grocery costs. Look, if you want to hit a $5 a day target, where you shop absolutely dictates your success. And this brilliantly illustrates that massive price gap. When we take the exact same cart of healthy food across popular grocers, the difference is actually staggering. Whole Foods, no surprise here, comes in at the highest cost. Trader Joe's, they offer a decent middle ground, it's about $20 cheaper. But look all the way over there at the lowest end. Aldi and Walmart are the undisputed winners. Getting an entire haul at Aldi or Walmart actually costs less than half the price of getting the exact same stuff at Whole Foods. Half. So for the sake of our $5 day, that's exactly where we're going shopping.
All right, Section 2, budget-friendly breakfast oats.
Now that we've got our super affordable groceries, let's jump into the first meal of the day. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how it completely shatters a massive fitness myth. When people see protein powder on an ingredient list, they almost always think, oh, that's way too expensive. But when you buy it in bulk and actually calculate the cost per gram of protein powder falls right into the absolute lowest cost category. It ends up being around the exact same price as eggs and milk, and it is significantly cheaper per gram than buying, say, salmon or ground beef. Plus, it tastes awesome and doesn't load you up with a ton of extra fat or calories. Total win-win.
So here's the totally realistic, unpretentious ingredient list for our morning oats. This recipe takes literally less than 5 minutes to prep. You just make it the night before, so boom, it's instantly ready to fuel those early morning workouts. Grab a mason jar, throw in your oats, some 0% plain Greek yogurt, a scoop of that cost-effective protein powder, and about half a cup of water. Give it a good mix, chuck it in the fridge, and then in the morning, just top it with a banana, a tablespoon of peanut butter, and a quick pinch of salt. Oh, and by the way, throughout this explainer, I'm going to be tossing out what we'll call premium upgrades. Basically, if you've got a couple extra bucks in your budget, you can upgrade this specific breakfast by drizzling some sugar-free syrup or honey right on top.
Moving right along to Section 3, meal prep freezer burritos.
Okay, so to tackle that absolutely dreaded meal prep problem, where your food starts getting all funky by Wednesday, we are making freezer burritos. These guys stay perfectly good for months, and they taste completely delicious even after a week in the deep freeze. Now for the basics, notice we're specifically calling for a large white flour tortilla. I know, normally nutritionists are always pushing for whole grain, but honestly, on a strict budget, white flour tortillas aren't just cheaper, they're way easier to roll, and they actually stay intact. Inside that, we're doing diced chicken cooked with pinto beans, some softened onions and peppers, and cheddar cheese. Now, our $5 budget doesn't exactly leave room for a massive spice rack. So if your pantry is looking a little bare, maybe take a quick trip to your parents' place and just, conveniently borrow some salt, garlic powder, pepper, and soy sauce. It saves you a few bucks, and trust me, these are absolute non-negotiables for flavor.
But guys, the real magic here is in the assembly. Let's break down this foolproof burrito folding method. Step 1 is the absolute most important part. You literally must let the cooked filling cool for 5 to 10 minutes. If you skip this step, the steam is going to completely break your beautiful tortilla. Nobody wants that. Next step, just pop the tortilla in the microwave for like 5 to 10 seconds to soften it up. Then pile your filling and cheese onto the lower third. To wrap it without tearing, simply fold up the two sides and roll it right down the middle. Wrap it up in some foil, toss it in the freezer, and there you go. You just pull it out to defrost whenever you're ready for lunch.
Let's move to Section 4, Mom-approved dinner fried rice. Real quick, if you get those mid-afternoon cravings, a simple apple is going to run you about 77 cents and 80 calories. Not bad. But to see how this builds into our main dinner, we really need to understand this incredible caloric volume hack. Just look at this comparison right here. Green peas are basically an absolute superfood for fat loss. Why? Because they contain almost half the calories relative to their volume when you compare them to white rice.
So what does this all mean? Well, when you're dieting, you can easily save a ton of calories simply by scooping a little less rice and swapping in way more peas. You get the exact same massive satisfying portion size on your plate, but for way, way fewer calories. It's kind of genius. And making this is incredibly easy. First, just scramble 3 whole eggs in a pan and set them aside. Next, cook up your diced carrots, that huge volume of green peas we just talked about, and some garlic until it's all nice and soft. Now, step 3 is the actual secret to getting that perfect restaurant-style texture. You have to use day-old leftover rice from the fridge. Actually, scratch that. It's pretty much a rule. Fresh rice gets super mushy, but day-old rice stays firm and stops everything from clumping together. Finally, just stir in your soy sauce and those scrambled eggs. Oh, and for a premium upgrade on this one, you can definitely top it with some sriracha or maybe throw in a side of steamed broccoli for extra veggies. Now, you don't just have to take my word for it on the taste. The creator of this meal plan actually tested this exact budget recipe out on his famously overly critical Filipino-Chinese mother. And her response? Quote, "Yeah, it's really good. Oh my God." I mean, come on. If a cheap, diet-friendly fried rice recipe can easily pass the notoriously tough mom test, you know for sure this meal is legitimately, undeniably delicious. All right, section 5, late night sweet tooth smoothie.
We all know the feeling. After dinner is exactly when the real danger strikes, that dreaded late-night sweet tooth. Honestly, this is the exact moment that completely derails most diets. But rather than fighting it all night and eventually just binging on junk, this smoothie completely satisfies the craving while keeping us right in that sweet spot of a fat loss deficit. Into a blender, just toss a frozen banana, 1 scoop of chocolate protein powder, a tablespoon of peanut butter, some water, and a handful of ice cubes. Blend it all up for a super thick, frosty treat. Now, if you want the ultimate top-tier premium upgrade for this entire meal plan, take these exact same ingredients and run them through a Ninja Creamy. It will literally spin this simple protein smoothie into something with the exact thick, creamy texture of actual ice cream. No joke, it is an absolute game changer for those late-night cravings.
Moving to our final part, section 6, real results and customization.
So, the theory is solid, the meals look fantastic, and the cost is shockingly low. But does it actually work in the real world? First off, keep in mind that you can easily prep these meals 3 to 4 days in advance. And obviously, if you're super active or maybe just have a larger frame, you should definitely tweak this, like slightly increase the carbs and fats by adding a bit more rice or an extra scoop of peanut butter, just so you aren't dropping weight too aggressively. But here's the crucial point. The creator's best friend, Jeff, actually followed this exact meal plan for 7 days. And at the end of exactly 1 week, he lost a total of 1.8 pounds. Now, sure, some of that is going to be initial water weight just from eating cleaner, but a really significant portion of it was pure fat. The visual differences in his physique were literally already starting to show in just a single week. The framework undeniably works. But you know what the absolute most inspiring part of Jeff's results is? He didn't even follow the meal plan with like 100% robot-like perfection. During that exact same week, he actually ate out a few times to celebrate some family birthdays, and he still lost nearly 2 pounds. This brilliantly illustrates that consistency always beats perfection. You do not have to lock yourself in some miserable, restrictive cage to see fat loss. You really just need a solid, realistic, budget-friendly baseline that you can reliably return to most days of the week. Well, we've completely demystified the whole process today. You've seen the store comparisons, you have the high-protein, budget-friendly recipes, and you understand the caloric hacks, like swapping that rice out for green peas. Eating for fitness absolutely doesn't have to be a luxury expense. So I'm going to leave you with this. You have the exact grocery list, the step-by-step recipes, and the proven math. What will your $5 fat loss day look like tomorrow?